We welcome Einar Tangen, a senior researcher at the Taihe Institute, joining us from Beijing. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Tangen. And we'll start with the situation that's been unfolding over the last few weeks. President Yoon's martial law declaration has sparked widespread protests and even investigations into his administration. So what do you think this signals about the state of South Korean politics?
Presently, it is in chaos. The opposition has asked for his impeachment. It's going long. He has indicated that he is going to fight it. He's trying to make concessions in terms of his government on policy matters, especially the budget. But it's unlikely that he will succeed. He's going to probably join all the rest of all but three presidents who have gone to jail over the last 30 years.
And North Korea's response to the turmoil, what do you make of that? It's been called measured but critical. How do you interpret Pyongyang's response?
Well, Pyongyang is just simply, they're delighted. I mean, this is great PR fodder for their people. They can point to the South Koreans and say that it's completely corrupt. And that it's, this is what happens when you have an enemy country that is uncooperative and threatening to you. So from them, it's a PR point of triumph.
And recent missile tests by North Korea are further escalating tensions, as they always seem to do. What are the implications of these military advancements?
Well, you'll remember last January, they indicated that they were never intended to merge with South Korea and that it would be an enemy forever. Actually, what it means is that Kim would like to normalize his country by settling its boundaries, allowing him to get rid of the sanctions in his mind and become a normalized country. Something that he can pass down to his children. It's very clear he's trying to get people to pay attention to North Korea, but with Ukraine and also with Gaza happening and Lebanon and Syria, things like this, it's very hard for him to get attention. So it's going to wait. We'll see what Donald Trump thinks of all of this stuff.
Well, yes, coming to that, how do you see the role of external powers like China, but also, of course, as you mentioned, the incoming Donald Trump administration? How might that mitigate or even exacerbate the tensions on the peninsula?
Well, Donald Trump is interested in getting more money from the South Koreans. He's already indicated he's going to up the ante. He did it last time. He wants them to pay more. In fact, he wants them to pay even more than the cost of having the troops there. He wants them to pay for U.S. protection. It's doubtful that Kim will meet with him again. He felt humiliated by Trump. He felt Trump really offered nothing and kind of made a fool out of him. You'll note that Donald Trump hasn't shown any love letters from the young Kim. In terms of China and Russia, the situation is actually better for North Korea because they're now are not solely reliant on China. There's always been a certain amount of distrust, especially by the North Koreans towards China. They always feel that China somehow wants to take them over. I think if you look at the realities, the last thing that China wants to do is take over North Korea. But they are interested in having a buffer between them and having, U.S. troops going eyeball to eyeball with Chinese troops. So having Russia there is a kind of a pressure relief valve for North Korea. They now have another nation where there's a land border where they can trade, and that has similar enemies to them. I think they're expecting that Russia will support them in any kind of peace initiative if it ever comes to that.
And you talk about Donald Trump almost running a protection racket for South Korea, and there's of course those love letters that you mentioned also. The relationship between Kim and Trump went from insults to love letters. Could it change just as quickly next time around?
I doubt it. I mean, Donald Trump really isn't concerned about North Korea. It already has the nuclear weapons. He can't say that he's going to prevent them from having nuclear weapons. They're already there. It's just not his main concern. He views foreign policy as simply leverage points, kind of chips in a game where he wants to reestablish American, make America great again, basically by bringing what he thinks reindustrializing the U.S. I don't think anybody really thinks that that is possible, but it is something that is at the forefront of his mind. And as you can see in the past, he's not really concerned about ideology. He's concerned about making a deal.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tangen, for joining us on the program and for giving us your expert analysis on the situation on the Korean Peninsula. Of course, here on Q News, we will continue to watch any developments closely.